Some of you need to add like falling in love and ecstasy or joy or whatever, okay? But when you fall in love with somebody, what will you do for someone you love? What will you do for them? What will you do for them? Come on, guys, what will you do? Anything, isn't it true? If you're really in love, like if they say to you, could you take out the trash? You don't go, take out the trash. Go, take out the trash, of course. Take out the trash. What else can I do for you? Right? But after 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, 7 years, 70 years, somewhere in there, one day they go, could you take out the trash? You go, what do I look like, your janitor? And you go, I don't know what happened. We used to have this great passion and somehow it disappeared. See, I tell people, if you do what you did in the beginning of the relationship, at the end of the relationship, there won't be an end. I'll say it again. If you do what you did in the beginning of the relationship where you were just lit up by making them happy, what made you happy was making them happy. If you did what you did in the beginning of the relationship, at the end, there won't be an end. You'd be in a different state. Does that make sense? So your emotional state determines which story you come up with. See, if you're all exhausted and burnt out and you aren't taking care of your body and you don't train yourself and you're in the middle of COVID and, oh my God, you're watching more of the news, let's watch some Netflix, in that state, the story is life's over, or the story is life's a bitch, or the story is something that'll keep you from finding the very strategies you want. Now listen to me, here's the good news. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have self-selected. You know, it didn't cost you anything. It wasn't hard to get on here, but you still showed up. The real key for this next couple days is each day, here's how I want you to pay me back. I don't want any money from you. I want to deliver for you, but I want you to deliver for you. If you get results, I know you'll eventually become a client, I'll be able to serve you, or you'll tell someone else. I know it'll work out great. I'm not worried about that. But you gotta pay for this by pushing yourself once a day. At the end of these little sessions, I'm gonna give you a little challenge, and the challenge should make you slightly uncomfortable, or maybe a lot uncomfortable. But the way we grow is we push through what's uncomfortable, and suddenly the state of being uncomfortable disappears. And you can change that state, my friends, 2 ways. Jot them down. A radical change the way you use your body, a radical change in what you focus on, and if I gave you a third one, a radical change in your language. But we'll talk about this more tomorrow. But for right now, if I want to change how I feel, I can change my body. I can go for a run. I can go push myself to lift weight. I can go jump in the pool or go take a freezing shower. Any of those things are going to change your entire biochemistry. I can stand up, put my hands on my hips, but I don't. I use my body, use my voice, I use my energy. If I were to speak to you more like this tempo here and I said, guys, I'm Tony Robbins and you're not. And I'm here today to share with you how you can have more personal power in your life. And over the next 7,000 hours of this seminar, right? How many can feel the difference in the tempo just in your own body and voice, right? So if you see somebody who's standing like this, let's put the camera up, and they're depressed. What's their body like? Instead of me showing you, what's a depressed person's body like? So I want you to see your body affects your state. Where's the shoulders in a depressed person, guys? Where? Show me. Down. Where's their head? Down. Are they breathing full or shallow? Shallow. Are they talking quiet or a little louder? Which one? If they're depressed, it's lower, right? Now, how do you know this? Because you've practiced this shit before, haven't you? We all have, right? But if you take somebody who's depressed and you get them to stand up, shoulders back, move their body, breathe, use their voice with intensity and tempo, their entire biochemistry changes 10 times faster than just standing there with your, hands on your hips. In other words, you can train yourself to change your state. The other way you can do it is change what you focus on. Because write this down, focus equals feeling. Whatever you focus on, you're gonna feel, whether you like it or not, you're gonna feel it, it's gonna affect you. If you focus on, you're supposed to meet your husband or wife at 7 p.m. at the restaurant, you get there at 7, they're not there. Some people get pissed, it's only 7. Some people get worried. But what if you've been there since 7 and it's 7:30, they've not called, they've not texted, they've not shown up? Then what? Some people say, I'm really pissed off. Some people say, I'm really worried. They have the same event, but they didn't have the same experience because of what they did with their state. The person who's pissed off goes, they did it again. They always show up late. They don't care. They're probably screwing around with somebody else. But if you imagine that, you're going to be angry and hurt. The person who's worried, what did they do with their focus? Like, oh my God, what if they're in a car accident? And so whatever you focus on, you feel, even if it's not true. And when the person shows up finally, guess what? If you're really angry, you're going to treat them the way it makes them never want to show up. If you're really worried, you're going to treat them different.
Remain disciplined. Stay strong. When it all seems hopeless, keep plugging away. Nothing can stop you if you don't stop for anything. Don't stop for anything. Never break your discipline. Remain faithful to yourself and your vision. When it gets painful, push harder. Push through the pain.
That said, I'm going to control my destiny, and whatever it takes, I'm willing to do the work.
As the physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in right thinking. Put away aimlessness and weakness, and to begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment. Make all conditions serve them, and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly.
What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference?
I ain't smart, but the difference between me and most people is you might be sweeter than me. You might be bigger than me. You might grind. Listen to me, I don't know. You might have money. I don't know where you come from, but you will not outwork me. Every single time. This is an opportunity of a lifestyle, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
But I also know that inside each one of us is something beautiful, that even in the midst of pain, if you allow yourself to focus on that, to feel the joy, to not just think about it, but to actually feel the joy, it will begin to crowd out the pain. It will actually take that room. And just like when you're trying to create something amazing in your life, do not waste time trying to tear down the old. If you're trying to create something beautiful in your life, spend all of your time trying to build that new thing. So if you want to feel joy,
you are in possession of a gift. You have a talent, and whatever that talent is, you can make yourself and people around you a stronger and better place with it. But sometimes the only way to do that is to take a risk. At one point, you have got to take a leap if you want to make that gift that you have become a reality. Otherwise, society will gladly accept you as a 9-to-5 slave working just to pay off your rent and to stay alive and to live for the weekend, which is the absolute worst way to live. If you don't jump, believe me, if you don't pursue your gift, you will live a life full of regret, and your gift, your dreams, everything that you ever had to offer to the world will die with you. From first-hand experience, I am pissed off at myself. I am pissed off, and I regret so much in my life. I can't even fathom explaining it. Not about what I've done, but what I haven't done.
I think so many people are keyboard activists, right? Everybody's good at sending a tweet about how the world should be, and nobody's doing anything about it. And that is just very much human nature.
We've gotten soft as a culture.
Yes. You know, I mean, of course we've gotten soft as a culture in the US because the US has had an incredible 200-year run, right? Like, this is just what happens. You know, so as a culture, I can't speak for, people that live in the Amazon River, and I can't speak for, people that still live in Belarus, but the American culture is soft, and that's a great thing. That means there's been enormous amounts of prosperity, but let's not be naive. I mean, people literally complain when somebody gives them the wrong amount of like extra cream in a Starbucks $6 coffee. My lack of interest in complaining is so high, and when I watch what people complain about, it breaks my heart because they completely lack perspective. And I genuinely believe my happiness and optimism comes from my perspective. Even in political unrest times like right now, a lot of people are very bent out of shape, but the reality is that it's just never been better to be a human being. That's just the truth, that's just data, that's reality. And yeah, I mean, it's just a very fun time to be alive.
Because if you're willing to do the work, you can have anything. That's what makes the US of A great. When it started, America was just a handful of scrawny colonies. Now, it's the most buff, pumped up country on the planet. That's pretty rad.
Most people say they want to look better. Not everyone's willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. All of my heroes are self-made. Rocky, Scarface, all the guys from The Godfather, they all started out with nothing and built their way to perfection. The way to prove yourself is to better yourself. That's the American dream.
You're no longer weak. You're no longer misguided, shy, broken, lost, vulnerable. You are confident. You are focused. You are strong. You are invincible. Now you have the power. This is why I come to you.
That's why you are here. There's a voice in you that has said, I can do this. There's something in you, in your heart of hearts, that said, I'm not going to let anybody pull my strings. It said, I'm going to control my own personal economy. It said, I've got a dream I want to achieve. I want my children to have a choice of the kind of education that they want. It said, I am the captain of my ship.
No one's going to do anything for you. Couple rules of being a real leader. You need to take responsibility for your own life. Bringing energy to your team, leading in recruiting, leading in leadership, leading in growth. Nobody owes you anything, but you owe other people everything. That's what a leader does. You take responsibility. You know exactly right now what you're not doing. It would be criminal of you to leave here and say, I don't know what to do. You know exactly what you're afraid of. You know exactly what you've been avoiding, and you got to make a decision to change it. You know exactly what it is. Don't BS anybody. You know what you need to do different. You know the changes you need to make. And if you can do that, you stop kidding yourself, you can win. You can overcome your fear, overcome procrastination, whatever that is.